All right, back down with the Petty brothers, Timmy Petty, Mark Petty, Richie Petty. We're going to dive into Texas today because there's a lot of history with our family in Texas, and we've always enjoyed going down there, didn't we?
I have.
Yeah.
I like the barbecue.
Well, I was looking up some things here, and it goes back to Texas World Speedway because now the racetrack's in Fort Worth, right?
Yes.
The new racetrack, and
Right around. Yep.
it's a mile and a half, right?
Yep.
Texas World Speedway was a 2-mile racetrack, and it was kind of a carbon copy of Michigan, except there was more banking.
And it was in College Station.
College Station, Texas, yeah. And I think they ran their first race there in '69, maybe. And anyway, Richard, he had a lot of success there. He won 3 races. I think they ran 8 Cup races in the past. He won 3 of them. And in '71, I believe it was '71, Buddy Baker was in the 11 Dodge, and Richard won, and Baker run second. So it was a sweep for the Petties. And
It was a good weekend.
yeah, that was '71. But that was December 12th. They run it late in the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So while we're on Texas, we need to reach out and give our condolences to Bobby and Terry Labonte. They're passing their. They were from
Oh yeah,
Corpus
Texas,
Christi.
yeah,
Texas
of course,
native.
So I'd
Corpus
like to
Christi. Yeah,
put-
condolences
Send
to
out
you.
a prayer to them, and
Yeah, we always liked Bob. Bob was a good guy to talk to.
oh yeah,
Had a lot of knowledge.
Just a real racer, and
Yep.
nothing but good things to say about him. So
Well, they ran until '81 there, of June of '81. That was the last time they ran a Cup race at Texas World. And I think Richard runs 6th, and that was the only time Kyle run at Texas World. That was his only start there.
The last race.
The last race that they ran, because that was
For some reason.
1981. Did you go?
For some reason, I don't think I went
Yeah.
in '81. I can't remember why, but something happened. I didn't go, or
Now AJ's Foyt's, he's in Houston, right? Ain't they?
yeah, they're out,
somewhere?
out of Houston, because that's where we went and picked up that car
Yeah.
that time. Yeah, Houston.
Well, I was looking here, and I didn't realize this, and this is why I brought Houston up. In 1971 of June, it's a half-mile racetrack called Myers Speedway. They ran 1 race there. Bobby Allison won, and Richard runs 7th. Never heard of the racetrack.
Well, I haven't
But
either.
I was looking up Cup races in Texas, and that one popped up.
That was 71.
71.
In
Yeah.
Houston.
Houston. So that was Meyer Speedway. And I think it's out of business now. But Texas World, they closed the track in '89, and I think it was going out of it was
Dilapidated.
yes, that's the word I was looking for, exact word. But some Japanese businessmen come in there in 1990 and bought the place, right?
Okay.
And we went there in '91 of September and run an ARCA race. Remember going in there? They was repaving the place, and they were still. We were sitting out there.
We got there a day early.
Day early. We're sitting out there, and they were still paving the garage area. That's how that's how close they was to race day. But
We ended up going there twice and running our
ran there in
races.
'91 and September, I believe it was, and then we went back in March of '92 and ran, and didn't have a lot of luck there. We ran really good because
We broke a distributor on that second time.
yeah,
I remember
and
that.
then the first time we were there, we broke a camshaft.
Wasn't that the
we wrecked in practice, didn't we, or something?
That was in March of '92 because we were running out there. Clifford,
Somebody,
yeah,
old tank
Roy Payne,
cab car.
Roy Payne, he was running real good, but he left the oil tank loose, and I run off in there and I was hauling.
So we had to fix it, and then
Yeah.
we had a distributor
'Cause I'd
troubles. And
finally-
it was running good.
I'd finally got pretty good there, and you could run off in there. I mean, you could carry it because the banking, and you just had to like burp it a little bit, and you could jump right back on it. And about time I jumped back on it, I hit that oil, and she went in the oil. So,
did HB Bailey have a cookout out there?
oh
yeah, I was going to say.
now,
remember-
HB run a lot of them Cup races. I was looking
Well,
at
he
him.
was from there, right?
Right, he was from
Okay.
Houston, and yeah, tell about that. That was a good time.
I just remember
Oh, yeah.
HB cooking out and all of us going
And
over
so
there.
he invited everybody in the garage area on the ARCA deal
Yep.
to go out in the infield, and he had this
Yeah,
unreal spread.
like
Yeah.
tamales and tacos.
Well, and beef and chicken
And
tacos.
nothing bad. Everything
No,
was good.
and it was that.
Yeah.
and if you like beer, he had some beers out there with it, didn't he?
Well, that goes good with Texas barbecue.
It was just good. I mean, and we went that one place, and remember they had the they served your meal on like paper, butcher paper, and it had sausage, brisket.
Yeah, it was a real Texas.
And pickles and the onions and stuff.
When we think of barbecue, we think of pork, slow cooked.
It was mainly beef there,
And
wasn't it?
It was Texas barbecue. It's a whole different ball game.
Brisket and all that good stuff.
But you know,
Daddy had them turkey fries.
that was out of
I didn't
Texas.
even know what that was.
Oh, I thought that was in Kansas City.
Nah, well, it might have
Yeah,
been.
that was
but
in Topeka.
okay, well, it's all running together.
But go,
It is, ain't it?
go back and talk about memories of going to of that whole Texas deal. When we run them ARCA races, it was a big deal because the whole family went.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And we all followed each other.
Yep.
Mom and Dad went, even Elizabeth Ann went.
Yep.
Did she go to that one?
Yeah,
She went to
that
Texas with us. But we stopped off at the, on the way to Texas,
91 there.
we
did.
stopped off at the museum at Talladega.
And looked at
and-
poison ivy.
Yep, and just looked at everything. But it was one of the better family trips.
And that was one of the,
Very rare
Yeah.
to be able
Yeah.
to stop and do that.
But the Hall of Fame or the
International.
the museum they had there,
Motorsports Hall of
I
Fame,
remember that because that's where Michael Waltrip's Bristol wreck was.
Is that where we had trouble with the
And it was
truck?
tore
We had
all
to
to
stop and
pieces.
get the thing fixed because it was running hot.
That was coming back, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, that was
That was
going
going
out.
down.
Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah, because the batteries.
What was the lady's
How
name
do,
there?
how do we
Miss-
remember
Miss-
all these
Miss
little
Betty?
things? I mean, it's just a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff.
Betty. Yeah, I remember her. She always
the
sent
lady
back-
that run the museum there at
She
Talladega.
always sent.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So I sent her-
she was actually from up here
Yeah.
around Durham.
I can't remember her last name.
Yeah,
But she welcomed us in, treated us great.
It'll
It was-
come to
it was
us
a good deal.
later.
But we spent about an hour just being tourists, and that was fun. Anyways, I got off.
No,
subject
that's
there.
fine. That's
So
all
are we
good.
going to switch over to those
Well,
Texas
they
races?
built that new track in Fort Worth in about what '97,
Yep, somewhere in there.
and I
When
never.
they first did, there was nothing around
Oh,
there.
it wasn't.
Because it was on the outskirts,
I
remember?
remember went out there and tested.
Yeah, and it was.
Is that
and
Holiday
now
Inn
it's
didn't-
like part of the town.
Oh man,
Well, that significance of that in 2000, Adam ran his one and only Cup race there,
yep.
and I think he had a little trouble with the engine or something. And anyway, that was. I think they were scheduled to run 4 or 5 that year.
Yeah.
And that was the one. And then about a couple of weeks later, the New Hampshire deal happened.
Yep.
Oh,
So
Lord.
that was kind of a bad deal. And then we went back in October of 2000, and Mark was running that 44 truck. And we had a good weekend that weekend. You qualified really good, and you ran good. That was probably what, your 4th or 5th truck race, wasn't
Yep.
it? Ended up running 10th, and we was excited. But the fun part about it was we were pitting beside the 43 because we still were doing engines for the 43. When me and Timmy was running the pits for the 44, and Richard, I think Steve had gotten a wreck for the 43.
Yep.
Anyway, he come over. He was wanting to help us in the pits. He was out there cleaning the windshield.
Yeah, he cleaned the windshield.
So he became part of our pit crew.
But I'm gonna say,
How about running that jack? would you?
yeah. But how many people got their windshield cleaned by Richard
Not-
Petty?
not-
Probably me and Lee Boy.
Yeah, not
that's,
very many.
That's one of them races where the gun jammed on me, and I went across the wall to get a gun, and you come over and change 2 tires.
Yeah,
before I
we
could
used
get
to
back.
change to
Yeah.
back in the old Bush days.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
anyway.
yeah. But Mark ran
Still
real,
done pretty good,
You,
didn't we?
you ran
I
real
thought so.
good.
Top 10.
You ran
I
real
thought
good
so.
out there.
I actually, if I remember right, I had to call you down because we were going to try to go to another race, and I said, just finish where you're at because you and Corelli was running pretty hard.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
And it was going to be bad,
We ran out there.
No, what?
but it turned out. Oh, you was going to win.
Had him covered.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that
Now-
part.
No, it was. We ended up with a good finish.
For what we had, we did really good.
97 we was out there, and Hensley was running the 43, and we had a second truck there, the 42. We had to touch one with Bouchard.
Kenny Bouchard.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
ran that for us. So we had a good
That
weekend
was
that
2
weekend.
pretty
too.
trucks too.
It was,
I
yeah.
wish somebody had any pictures of
Yeah.
those.
And I think we went. I think that during that weekend we headed over to Billy Bob's for a night and had a good time.
Seen a little rattle in.
Yep, that was a.
Oh, that's right.
So we seen a legend at the Billy Bob's, and Billy Bob's was. I was always wanting to go to Gillies,
Yeah.
but Gillies was closed.
It
at
was
that-
already burned up. by
Yeah,
then.
and then Billy Bob's took over, and I think
That's
they
just
said
because of the movie.
Billy Bob's was
Urban
better.
Cowboy.
Yes. That's the only reason
Well,
why you
that's-
want to go.
Bud
there.
and Sissy.
Yeah.
That's right. I want to ride that bull.
Yeah.
So before we get too much into more of Texas, I don't know how much more you
Well-
got, but I want to give a shout out because it's the first day it's been warm enough to wear a T-shirt. But to Roger and Ronald Legan down in Blacksburg, if you got any cylinder head stuff you need to do, we got one on the table for you. Anyway, Shout out to Roger and his brother down there in Cylinder Head work all day long.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to about do it for Texas.
Oh, we're done with Texas? I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, no, you didn't. It didn't.
We had to do your commercial.
Hey, that's a friend commercial, by the way. The friend.
No, but,
friends.
But anyway, I was looking up stuff. I didn't know about that Meyer, Texas Speedway.
That's news to me.
And then you had College Station, and now they run to Fort Worth, and they're still running at Fort Worth.
And don't we have some kinfolk in Texas? Ain't Steve Petty from out there?
Yeah, he's from over around Texarkana.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had some other people out there too. So
some
yeah.
Petties.
Yeah.
And he was. Which one was the squirrel killer?
That was
Steve Petty.
Yeah, some of them people. Yeah. But so
that runs in the family. People like to kill squirrels.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you stopping by. We'll have some more stories for you next time. Like and subscribe and stay with us.
Thank you.